sitting here alone talking with Dad about how we lost people. Actually, on that same note, I should go back and edit last week's webinar for the first 5 minutes while we figured out what hadn't worked properly. Turns out that Lori had sent me to spam, so Sarah, you might want to check your spam folder in your Gmail account after the meeting, and then once you've brought them into your regular mail, you'll get regular emails if you have the same issue.
Yes.
So, hello and welcome. It's Tuesday night here on the West Coast. It's funny how we all ended up, even though we're in different areas, we're all in the same time zone. It's kind of nice. Most people's webinars on Eastern time, and it's either in the middle of my day or way too late for me. So, some people were asking about where to get information about company updates, and I went out and found, everybody familiar with SoundCloud.com?
Yes.
They store and save audio files for us. So Powur has an account there under Powur PBC, and they have recordings from all of the Monday and Thursday meetings for anybody that wants to listen to one they missed or to listen to one on fast forward. I actually really enjoy listening to them after the fact because you can zip through and check the new stuff you want. You don't have to go through the thing you already know or understand. It also can be sped up with a little software called Announce on your computer, so you can actually speed it up to 1.5 times or 2 times, whatever you're comfortable to listen to. And it's a great way to save time on your day when you have so much stuff to cover and get done, and time being so valuable. So in an effort to keep this to just a half an hour, I'd asked Dad to check out the SolarPreneur Powur group, and we have not found any of the Sunday meeting from Powur yet. For whatever reason, it isn't posted in the Powur back office in the Powur group, and I haven't found it as an audio yet in SoundCloud. I'm guessing because it was on the Sunday that it'll probably be again tomorrow before. But SoundCloud is the place to go to catch up on all the last Powur updates and for those changes. They even have Bobby's sizzle call, which is his 4-minute presentation for absolutely new people that have never heard about Powur before.
I just put the URL in the chat.
There you are. You're a smarty pants. Well, there you go. All right. Thank you very much, Lori.
Oh, good thing to know.
Absolutely. If you click on it, you can save it to your favorites and then go there when you have time. About once a month there's something big going on, usually the 3rd week of the month when they're saving the news and it seems to be all the changes. So there's some little tidbit given every week. I wasn't on the last live call, but I'm going to have Dad share for a few minutes. He participated in the Powur training with Jim Bunch, and it's the new 21-day program that Powur's launched to help all of us run our Powur business. So if he could share for 2 or 3 minutes the basics of what he learned, then you'll know what you're seeing when we are able to get to it live as a recording, so we can catch up with the rest of the group.
Okay, they were talking about the different kinds of environments, and there are about 9 different types of environments. It'll take me a long time to go through and explain each environment, but there's, if you can see this, I don't know if you can see this. Can you see this wheel?
I remember seeing that.
Yeah.
It's been posted in the group today. Yes, we've seen it.
It's posted. It's posted. It talks about spiritual, that's the first one, then nature, physical, financial, networks, relationships, body and self. And then you in the middle, and then it's all part of metric, me metric. And they talked about each one of these spiritual, or each one of these environments. Went around the whole clock and just elaborated on it. So That took them about 2 hours to go through that. So
So it was kind of an interesting format. You said they talked for about an hour and did a training on what it was, and then they moved to a live audio call and had some people ask questions and get answers too.
that's right. First hour is the webinar, then the second hour is a live phone call.
And how many of the Powur associates got to talk on the live call?
Only three. That was at the end of the call because they had muted everybody. And then if you wanted to say something, they decided you could put in a question at the end. And then they decided they just picked three to open up.
Then it took so long to answer everybody's questions, that's all they got to, and they were like an hour and 20 minutes or something, so it's going to be a bit of a...
It's about an hour and 15 minutes, the phone call. And they're going to do the same thing next Monday, which will be a continuation.
Monday or Sunday?
Not Monday, Sunday night.
So this is running at 5 p.m. on Sunday Pacific time now for the next 2 Sundays?
For the next 2 more Sundays, yeah.
Okay, I'd actually never heard Jim Bunch speaking, so I'm really looking forward to catching him on replay, and I'll be able to attend the next 2 Sundays because I have no conflicts in my schedule. They didn't announce it fast enough for me to clear up last Sunday. I'd already had a commitment I made a month ago.
The webinar started out with a dance. Yeah, I wanted everybody to dance. And,
can you explain that? Actually, that's kind of confusing.
Well,
how do you dance online?
He was dancing in the video, and they were playing music as well. So,
but part of it was to get you up and get you physically active because they're worried about you all sitting around in front of your computers.
That's right, yeah.
So it's kind of nice to be involved with a company that seems to look beyond the standard stuff that everybody else seems to be working on. Because it is a big picture. I saw some pictures in the group actually about people that had been motivated to clean up their office space, and had sent pictures in of the before and afters of their office space or their work desk, because one of the things they talked about was environment.
That's right, yeah. Yes, they say there were 9 environments.
And
8 environments. Sorry, 8 environments.
How are they tying it back to the business?
Well, they say if you clean up all your environments, then it will help you to build your business.
Okay.
So the first thing was to identify the important environments, and then the second thing was to help you to make small improvements in each area, so cumulatively it's easier for you to grow your business.
That's right. Yeah.
Right. So this is kind of an ancillary training in a way?
You'd have to explain the term, actually, my friend. I don't know what ancillary means.
Related, but not direct down the middle related, more like massage, if you think of it as in terms of medical treatment. Yep. Massage is considered an ancillary treatment. Physical therapy is usually considered ancillary. So there are things that are related and that can bring value to the direct down the middle part of it, but not.
It's not hardcore marketing or how to talk to the guy in the elevator or how to talk to your neighbor. It's more the support things that are necessary for you to be more organized and have some structure in what your activities are.
They also had you rate your environments too. You had to rate each one on a scale of 1 to 10.
Sounds like life coaching.
My sister's gone.
Really?
Where's Mom?
I'm not sure.
Oh, she's at the store.
Yeah. There you go. Gotta love when family comes visiting. That's my youngest with her nephew and niece. Looking for the 3rd child.
Wow.
One of the joys of having a big house. They can hide well. That matters maybe with her mom. But, I'm sure they'll sort it out. So I don't know if there's anything else anybody wants to address or cover. Sarah, did you have a question or something that you would like me to work with you on so that you can translate for your group or for the people that need those sort of things? I know we talked about the pay plan needing to be done, and it probably isn't good if you create your own script for their version of the pay plan, because you'd have to run that by and try and get permission. It could take weeks and be a painful process. But I think I can cut you 4 or 5 minutes from one of the previous these sessions, and I was going to edit it down to as short as possible, and then have you translate it into Spanish so that we'll have a clear, short, something that's 4 to 6 minutes that only covers the 4 ways you get paid and why you'd want to start in your Powur business. Does that make sense? You'll have to push your mute button. I think you're.
No. Still muted.
Yeah, sometimes the technology's funny. I didn't mute you. Oh, fair enough. You may not be able to touch it on the screen. You could type in the chat, actually, if you can't be heard, Sarah, or I guess you can't type in the chat because you're on the phone. Technology's wonderful when it works properly. But we can messenger after this meeting. That's not going to be a problem.
And beyond frustrating when it doesn't work properly. I used to say, computers, you can't live with them, you can't live without them, you can't throw them through the window.
Well, you could. They get pretty expensive. Pretty sure the Windows in this house are as expensive as my laptop, so that would be a costly proposition, and I'm barely that frustrated anymore. Actually, when that happens, Lori, I recommend professional help, and I don't mean in the psychiatric, I mean with your computer. Once every 6 months, I hire a guy to come in and clean my computer, because if you don't do it properly, sooner or later it catches up with you. I do it once a month myself, but I always seem to miss something, and sooner or later the thing starts slowing down again.
Yeah.
Can you hear me now?
I can hear you now, Sarah.
Oh, my mouse, the battery wasn't working.
That's a whole technology problem, and that's a simple one.
Leave it to me. So I think now that we figured out that you can call from Canada, it would be good to call Ricardo because he needs motivation because he feels alone. But I gave him 3 numbers of homeowners so he could call them. And
okay. I wasn't aware he spoke any English.
Oh, you're right. Okay, I forgot about that one. Okay, never mind.
I have had him on a chat, and we had to get you to come in and translate, which is why I was talking about giving you a video clip of 4 or 5 minutes that you could do a voiceover for. Lori's aware of a software you can just record your voice in that she can work with in her video editing. So we can have me give a presentation in this webinar format of the compensation basics. And then we'll have you translate what I've said into Spanish so that it's not you translating the company videos, which would probably run you afoul of their new enforceable compliance program.
I think I will not have any problem looking for leaders because they all want to work. But I don't want to bring some more if I don't have the resources for them to look at homeowners. So I need to get phone numbers so they can do telemarketing because they're on the other side of the border.
Yeah, I don't know what the simple solution to that one is. If I knew how to get a hold of local phone numbers, I would be having more customers of my own. That's the $64,000 question, actually, is how to get in contact.
What if I get it for you? What do we do with them? Call them. I know. I can get them through the title company.
Okay, so what we need to do is to have something that your people can say to them when you give them the leads. Then is what you need. You want to have a basic maybe 5 or 6 questions with possible answers and some ways to respond to them for the basics for your people. And then you can translate what I've given for back and forth into Spanish so that they can share it amongst themselves.
I guess I just need to make the phone call and get those numbers. This is the thing. Do you know how to find out if they are in the do not call list? That's what's been holding me back.
I'm not aware that you need to have the do not call list if you've already done business. If these people are people that you've done business with the real estate company, I don't see where they're cold leads. The do not call list is only for people that you don't know. And part of the reason they're asking us to call them is we don't work for Solar City. So if they've already asked not to be contacted by Solar City, you're not working for Solar City. So you haven't run afoul of the people on the Solar City do not call. That's why we have the 10 dedicated people and the ability to third-party call in the Solar City people, because the Solar City people cannot contact your leads without permission. So by you third-party calling them, that overcomes the Solar City needing to solicit your customers because you've put them on the phone call with their permission. So you introduce yourself, you ask them if they want to go forward, you call the 1-800 number, they assign somebody to your case in the next 2 or 3 minutes, and you go through the questions and answers with your customer.
Those are not necessarily my clients. I can get numbers for you too as well. It's just, how do we go about finding out if these people are in that do not call list?
I guess I can send an email to Powur Compliance and ask the lady in charge. I honestly don't know how to check customers' numbers on the do not call list, because for me it's a moot point. I'm assuming, and I'm assuming they would assume, because I'm here in Canada, if I have the person's phone number, the person wanted me to contact them, because otherwise how else would I have their phone number?
Uh-huh.
Partly because of the distance.
Could I ask a question? Are these people who have contacted, are these people that have contacted you about Powur, or are they people that have contacted you about something else?
Real estate customers for the real estate firm she works for in her normal job.
Ooh. Oh.
Well, anybody can get, I can just call the title company to get me homeowners of the whole city where I live.
Well, those ones would have to go through a do not call list checkout then, because those would be considered cold leads. If they were already your customers, you wouldn't need to check.
No, I don't have no records of my customers. The brokers keeps the customers, unless I didn't keep the numbers. They call me once in a while, but I don't call them. I don't want nothing to do with real estate.
Will your company not have any problem with that? You calling their customers?
No. This is public information for the general public. Like if I look in some if I look through the county records, I can get people's numbers as well. But through the title company, they help me because they want me to seek out listings. So they'll give me homeowners numbers instead of me looking one by one.
Oh, because at least this way you know the people own a home. So they've done most of the sorting for you, and it's the same in the real estate business. They have to own a home or you probably can't sell it for them.
Exactly.
I honestly don't know. When I was an insurance advisor, I wasn't allowed to contact anybody unless it was at their request or they were given to me as a company lead. If my upline gave me somebody, I could contact them, but otherwise I had to have the people's permission before I started soliciting them for business, which I guess is what the do not call list is about. So I will make the inquiries and find out how we can run public numbers through the do not call list so we don't get anybody in trouble.
Once once we have that, then I will feel confident to go and offer jobs, or not jobs, business to other people. Because right now I don't feel comfortable, and then they get stuck in Mexico and not able to do cold calling.
I understand. I've had the same problems with some of the people that have joined here in Canada. They're frustrated because out of their 500 Facebook friends, only 50 lived in the States, and only 10 of them lived in states that were active. And out of those 10 people, only one person even wanted to talk to them about it. So they were quickly through their 500 Facebook friends. That is professional marketing in a nutshell. And I have 1,700 people on Google and 600 on LinkedIn, and it took me 6 months to go through all maybe 4,500 people I knew. And it turns out only 500 of them are even in the United States. 4,000 of them are other places where Powur isn't and won't be active anytime soon. Although we did have an interesting report back and forth through the group. There was some one of the solar city people responded that Canada may not be too out in the distant future. Of course, didn't give any detailed information, but did hold out the hope that it wasn't a huge long wait for the next move on the part of his company. My dad's actually been talking back and forth with the guy, and that's why I posted your letter about the Solar City people allowing to be in Powur in the SolarPreneur group, because he's a member of the SolarPreneur group. So
Yeah,
I'm
I sent
hoping
it to him.
yeah, and then my dad sent it to him after I shared it with him. Because of course the best customer in the world is somebody that already works for Solar City. So if we can recruit somebody in Solar City management, they're going to put all their own people underneath them, and it's going to grow quickly. I joked with Bobby Smith last time I talked to him that my customer avatar wore a green hat and green coveralls to work, because that's what the Solar City people wear. But if I was going to target somebody with a paid ad right now, I would actually be targeting employees of Solar City.
Oh, how do you do that?
You would put Solar City in your keywords for your advertising, or you would advertise on like the Solar City website, so that when they went back and forth to the Solar City website, you would appear on in the ads that come up when you're on that site, would be my guess. If either of you ladies that do paid ads could respond, you might know better than I how would you target Solar City employees specifically. Lori or Agnes, any ideas for Sarah there?
Oh, man.
Because they are the perfect customer for us, since they could sell their own product and double dip. They'd be super motivated to grow it.
Isn't that contravening the compliance rules with Powur? Because
In
they
what
said
way?
you couldn't mention Solar City or Elon Musk's name.
You might have a problem there. And that's without permission. So once we figure out what we want to say, we can run it up the official flagpole and get permission for an ad. And I think maybe that's the next thing we should do as a group, is to come up with 2 or 3 ad ideas, run them through compliance, and get one that's approved, and then everybody in the group can run the same ad for a month, and we can get some data to see what really works. Because from what I understand, until you have 200 clicks, you really don't know whether it works or not. And I haven't gotten 200 clicks on my own in 30 days yet. So we'll have to do something collectively to try and get some data about how this works, and to start targeting particularly people in California, since that's where you are, Sarah, to be somebody close by if we actually get somebody interested. Because when you can actually get in front of the person in the first 30 days, it's that anchor that can keep them moving and going. That we can't provide being this far away, so I wouldn't want to target somewhere I didn't already know somebody locally.
Okay, how come these people that are very close to Bob Smith and Jonathan, the young girl, the 19-year-old girl from San Jose, California, they made a video. Did you see it on YouTube? I sent it to you.
I did see it.
And they talk about Powur. They use all the words that we're not allowed to use.
Because they have permission. So what we need to do is start cutting our own videos and sending them in to get permission. And once we get permission, then we can start sharing them in the same manner. I sent a letter in asking them to go look at SolarPrenuers.ca, and I haven't heard back yet. It could take days or weeks before they go review my site and check to see whether it's approved. But that's the first step on running ads about Powur officially through the business model is they have to approve the website that their customers are technically being sent to, I'm guessing. So once the website's approved, then we'll be able to use our landing page for company approved ads. I would say keep running whatever you've been doing that's working, since obviously it hasn't put up any red flags. But each of us should get an ad through compliance, or try to get an ad through compliance, so at least we know what they're looking for. Because after a couple of rejections, we'll know what's good and bad, and be able to better tailor as a group something that works. I'm hoping that in the response about the Solopreneur, I'll also get a response from them about the company leads, since the last time it was talked about 3 weeks ago on a company call, Jonathan said that the people above Game Changer were active and that the rest of us would be soon, and it's now been 3 weeks and I still haven't heard anything. So I did ask in the postscript where we were with that, and I just sent it off yesterday, so I'm not expecting an immediate response. Last time it took me 3 days to get a response back, but that was over a month ago, and they've got another 200 people in and a bunch of other stuff going on. So I'm imagining it'll still be a few days before I hear anything back on either topic.
I just kind of did a little search through the demographics on Facebook.
Yeah.
And one of the categories is a Solar City employer. So the Solar City as an employer.
Oh, okay.
And if you ran that ad, you'd reach 7,600 people.
Wow, she's good.
Potential.
All right.
I'm not exactly sure what it means when you're when a person matches employers Solar City, but I'm hoping what it means is that their employer is Solar City.
Could you do a screen share and show where you found this? Or is it in the software that we would need to...
Yeah, let me see if I can do that.
See if it will work without your camera on you.
I think in your About section you put a current employer or a past employer for that matter, so as long as people are filling that part out, then it could be where the
yeah, that's probably what it is, where it comes from. How do you get to screen share here?
If you go to the left side of your screen, a toolbar will pop up, and the green arrow is screen share.
Oh, the green arrow, okay. Okay, I'm clicking on it, and nothing is happening. There we are. Okay, let's see.
She froze.
I think that's just your picture.
No, I'm just...
It'll take a second for her computer to catch up.
Yeah. I think I'm going to end up doing the full screen, so I'm going to go over there. Is anything happening? Can you see anything yet? You're probably seeing this. How about now?
There we go. Now we can see something.
Okay, so what I did is I went in here and I started an ad, and I'm doing the whole of the United States, but probably it would be interesting. Let me see. Where's let's try California. Because that's where its home is, right?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to do California. That's 3,300 people. Okay, so I'm not going to deal with age right here, but this is where I got to it under demographics.
Okay, looking at languages. Can you type something for
employers, Solar City.
Yep, that's what it is.
So I was able to just actually just type it in here, and it won't show up. Let me take that one out and do it again. Okay, now we'll try it again. So the Solar City, and no. Let's bring it up now. I lost it.
No, make it one word, not two words. Solar City.
No, it was two words when I typed it. Maybe not.
But it's not, no, I'm
Oh,
Solar
there it
City.
is.
Yeah.
There, no, there it is. Okay, you see it says Solar City interests and Solar City employers.
Wow.
You see that?
11,000.
So, Solar City employers.
Wow, there's your market.
3,300 people in California.
Wonderful. I guess I know what I do when I get home tomorrow after papers.
Can you,
I'm
where's
thinking
demographic again? I know how to get the age in the city.
It's just under, it says detailed targeting
Uh-huh.
right here.
Oh,
There are different ways of doing it. You can do suggested, you can do browse.
wow.
And under browse, you've got all sorts of demographics,
Okay.
interest behaviors. Under demographics, education, ethnic affinity. So you could do.
Wow. Put the age, the magic age.
Dominant. Let's see whether there are any Solar City employees who are. Oh, now that's silly.
Wow.
Oh, yeah. Basically, what it does is it looks at these two different categories and it says, okay, it's Hispanic or it's Solar City. So you probably just want to focus on not doing that.
I think for a week, or at least, we should all focus on Solar City and see where that gets us, since we know they're allowed to work with us, and they would be double incentivized to promote themselves.
The problem I'm seeing, the problem that they tell me is that they make more money selling through Solar City than.
And that's because they get paid $250 up front instead of $200.
No, they get paid $5,000 for one solar panel, one house at least. They get paid for each solar panel they sell on the house. So
Really?
they got a small vision because they'd rather get a $5,000 now than get a team that they can make monthly. Those are the ones that I talked to.
Those salespeople.
Yes, the salespeople.
The salespeople, whereas just the regular employees might be incentivized to look at Powur.
Okay, good idea. Yeah.
I didn't know they paid their salespeople so well. Maybe we shall go become Solar City employees.
Oh.
That's what I thought. No, I'd rather make more money on the long run.
Oh, I understand. I was joking in some ways. I have been an employee for 16 years. I don't know if I could ever go back. I wouldn't make a good employee anymore. I'm too independent.
But that's a good point. Most people don't really understand the concept of residual income and the importance of it. Did you ever listen to that? Diane Hockman did an explanation of the different types of income years ago, and she broke it down and basically said there are 4 types of income, and if you're going to build a business as opposed to a practice, that you need all 4 types. But most people don't think like business people, so we don't think in terms of that residual income aspect and are really looking more at making money short term.
So we all become salespeople.
Yeah.
Instead of business owners
exactly.
and business operators.
Exactly. That's why when we were talking yesterday, I kept coming back to, I think our ideal customer is people who are already in network marketing, who understand, that who are successful,
People that are already convinced that it's a profitable, worthwhile endeavor.
right? Or at least who understand how that it's important.
Okay.
A cup of tea? How long are you hanging out?
I don't know. The voice is being recorded.
And preferably people in places like Maine and California and New Jersey and, you know, Portland, Oregon.
Yeah,
places where they can make that fast income by talking to people,
yeah, friends,
but
family,
also
neighbors.
build the residual.
Yeah.
That's I think where it gets frustrating for me, knowing that it's not in Washington State, for you knowing that it's not in Canada. You can't easily go out and just talk to people in your neighborhood or call people on the phone, like Sarah's talking about doing, because
You can't answer the obvious
really have
question, which
nothing
is
to
when.
tell them other than the business. And so if you're not talking to someone who's oriented toward building a business, there's no point in talking to them.
Unless you know they live in an area or have property in an area where it's already active. Then in that case, they're a customer and the problem is solved.
Well,
Yeah.
ladies and gentlemen, what I would do, right now I'm busy in my mind with another project, but if I were you, I would focus on their interest to be on Herbalife and name of other multi-level
Yes.
marketing companies.
Amway. Yes.
Yes, and just keep an eye because they will bully you on your ads, but just delete their comments if they're negative, and also put Hispanics, bilinguals, because those are the go-getters. I hate to say it, but they're not afraid to work for little money. So if they understand multi-level, they're going to be good workers,
Sure.
in my opinion. Forget the Caucasian too, but I spent a lot of money on English right here in Carlsbad and where Jonathan lives, where is the upper scale people, and I didn't get no response, nothing. That's why I went across the border in Mexico and I got a lot of response. But I don't want to do it if I don't have those numbers yet. I don't want to sell them something that is not, I'm not being honest with, which is they need to get leads for homeowners. That's what's stopping me. But you have California, Los Angeles. They got groups of for Hispanics groups, private groups on Facebook. But you got Los Angeles, New York, Miami, Texas, and because you're gonna spend a lot of money in English, like what's the name of that town close to Portland, Lori? That they very holistic. I forgot the name of the little town by Salem, by
Eugene?
Oh, it's very close to that. One of those little towns, and there's a university there.
Eugene.
Okay, they were telling me that everybody's doing solar.
I don't believe Solar City is in yet. Hopefully they'll be there, but they're not there. So in Eugene, if I were doing it in Eugene, I'd be focusing on people who are already in network marketing, so they understand the concept, but they're close enough to Portland that they could run ads there or go talk to people there in order to make the sales.
Yes.
It's like one of the things I learned from Russell Brunson is that when you're dealing with any kind of network marketing company, you're dealing with two different markets. You're dealing with the people who are going to consume whatever it is you have. So that would be the homeowners. And you're dealing with the people who are going to sell, the people who are going to build businesses. And you can't market to them the same way because it's two different products.
Yeah, the thing that excites a homeowner is not going to excite a business owner.
Right, and vice versa.
Yeah, they're not even going to speak the same language.
You can't really approach a homeowner to, oh, if you're thinking about putting in solar panels, why don't you also decide to become a Powur advocate? Some of them will, but if you leave them out there without any kind of marketing training, they're going to get as frustrated as most people do with network marketing. They might sell to the homeowners are more likely to buy in or connect with the existing Solar City affiliate program, because all they're interested in doing is like with my sister-in-law, my brother and sister-in-law, this is exactly what happened. When I met them up in Victoria a few months ago, I said to them, have you considered solar panels? And Jean said, yeah, Lam and Michaela, that's their daughter and sister and son-in-law, are just in the process of having Solar City come and do their panels. And I said, well, if you think about doing your own panels, would you contact me first? And then I let it lie. I didn't go back to them. So when I finally had the courage to go talk to my brother, and this is a self-image thing. When I finally had the courage to do that, he said, "Oh yeah, they're coming out to do the assessment or the initial consultation tomorrow," and we did it through my daughter. Now the daughter is not in Powur, but she had gotten involved in the Solar City affiliate program.
Ambassador.
Yeah. And so I said, well, you might want to look at this as a business, because my brother is a business person, and he's had bad experiences with network marketing before, so he just basically brushed it off. I'm going to go back and revisit that conversation a few times, but I think that a lot of people who do what I suspect what happens when they go ahead and have the solar panels installed, that Solar City probably contacts them and says, hey, now that you've installed your panels, tell some of your friends, and we'll give you $200 each time you send them to us as a referral.
You know what they do? When my salesperson went with me to do the consultation, he went ahead and offered the ambassador once the client said that he would do it. And when they install, they put a canopy on their sidewalk and an open house for all the neighbors to see it.
So we're,
And that was through your Powur installation?
Mm-hmm. Yes, I told the guy. I told him that he was not going to participate in the ambassador because I was going to tell the client about our business.
Good for you.
Mm-hmm.
Look out for yourself. Yeah, he was trying to piggyback on your sale.
Mm-hmm.
We've actually had that problem once already, that somebody tried to keep the client that Sarah had found. In those matters, you should report that sort of thing when it happens, Sarah, because that's the sort of thing that Powur can help you out with. There's no way on your sale that they should be marketing to those neighbors, if anybody should be marketing to those neighbors, it should be you. And you should get credit for any of those sales because that's how our business model operates. But if you don't complain to the powers that be, nothing there will ever change. If you don't want to be the person to sit in the hot seat, contact me when you know it's happening, and I'll call in. I have Jonathan's number. I just don't want to use it for no good reason. But yeah, they
Sounds
need
like
to know.
a good reason to me.
Well, yeah, because that's him. Everybody losing sales if they're taking your warm market customers away from you. That's dirty pool. So please let us know if you feel you're in that situation ever again with your local clients. That should never happen.
Yes. Okay. Yeah.
It's all new, so the bolder people on the staff will try to take advantage of your not knowing, or the fact they may not even know good practices themselves because they haven't had the sales training. They just don't know. They've been trained by the company a certain way for 5 years. They've worked there, and now you're telling them it's different.
Yeah.
But if we call a couple of them on it, it will change quickly. If we don't mention it, it's going to get worse.
Well, the original salesperson that was assigned to them, a Hispanic, he was sent to Mexico City to train the people over there. So he sent a backup. Well, I called the customer to see how he's doing, and he goes, what I'm trying to tell you is that the backup is not putting too much interest into it. He hasn't heard from Solar City or anything. And I think it's because the backup guy is not, he doesn't care. He's not getting paid. He was a backup.
So is this one of your existing customers that's still getting stuck waiting for their installation because they don't getting any service from their salesperson?
Well, nobody has called him. He had a question about why was the bill higher than he was told. He was not happy. And I called the backup and I said, you need to call your customer to put him at ease. But I don't think he did.
Sarah, the next time you have the chance, contact this customer, get them on a third-party call with the Solar City people that specialize with us, and they'll be able to pick it up and get it solved. Don't go back to the same person that's already dropped the ball twice. Take it back to Solar City and say that this customer has questions, and you're our people. You're trained to answer the questions for our customers. I'd just like you to answer the customer's questions because they're hourly employees. They're going to help you out because they want to make the sale for their company. But don't go back twice to any salesperson that hasn't followed up with your client within a week because there's no reason for it.
Well, the other thing is I called because they had stood up the last person that I made an appointment with, and I called them and they said, because my name is on the system as a client, they thought I was the client. They could not get it that I'm not the client, that I am the advocate.
Because you're already in the system as a client. They didn't get the fact you're both different people, or you had your own clients.
Yeah.
It's again, they're not familiar with our system. So I would go to the list, the 1-800 phone number only from now on, because they've been trained or better trained to deal with the Powur people, I'm hoping.
You know why I'm going to people who don't know? Because I want to recruit them. And all those are already recruited by one person that is under Jonathan. All those on that list, that's why I don't want to call those.
But if your customer gets served, you're still going to get paid, so how does that not help you? I understand you'd like to recruit them, but we haven't had any luck there either, so we got to get your customers taken care of first.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
Yeah, so. All right, so anybody else have any questions? Are we all better informed than we were?
I thought that Lori was going to train us.
I don't think Lori's ready to discuss what she just learned over the weekend.
Well, I can give you an
introduction.
An introduction. understand that this is something that was 3 intensive days long. So, this was a training with a woman named Callan Rush. Callan's primary specific audience are people who are interested in doing workshops. However, her approach to marketing can be applied to anything. And it's what she calls education-based marketing. So other people might call it attraction marketing. Basically what you do is you define your specific audience, and the specific audience is what she calls an egoic label. So, for example, entrepreneur is an egoic label. Parent is an egoic label. Violin player is an egoic layer where musician really isn't because it's too broad. An egoic label is anything that a person would apply to themselves and say, yes, I am that. It's a yes or no thing. You know, you're a mom or you're not a mom, right? So you start by identifying your specific audience, and then you define your specific problem. And that problem needs to be one of what she calls a top of mind problem. So basically it's something that would keep the person awake at 3 a.m. You know, it's the kind of problem that keeps a person awake at 3 a.m. So it needs to be in very, very simple language. The one thing she kept repeating all through the weekend is marketing is shallow. Marketing is shallow. Marketing, if it's effective, is aimed at those fears, and you know that's a whole other conversation when to do pain based and when to do pleasure based. And I could go into that. I resist it, but I understand it. That more often it's true that people will respond to pain. Now, so you look for. So, for example, I've been talking to a friend today. She is writing a book, a children's book for timid children, and we identified the egoic label as moms of preschool children. You know, it's an egoic label. You either are or you aren't. And the specific problem that we identified was they're afraid that their children will never make friends. So then you do your tantalizing title, and the title is based around those two. So the tantalizing title would be something like 3 massive mistakes that even smart moms of timid preschoolers or timid children make, which leaves them worried that their children may not ever make friends. Does that make sense so far?
You try the ego. How would you do the fear one?
What?
That's the ego. How would you use the fear strategy?
Yeah, the egoic label and the specific audience and the specific pain or specific problem.
You said you didn't like to use the fear.
I said I understand why most marketing is fear-based, although I resist it. But I have to admit that probably just about everything I've ever bought, I have bought because of fear-based marketing. You know, if I, no, not fear, but pain-based. If I have if I have a low back pain and it's keeping me up at night, I'm going to respond to marketing that addresses that pain, that problem. You know,
But are you going
I'm
to
not going to
respond?
respond so well to marketing that says, "Hey, you can move freely." I'm going to respond more quickly to, you know, I understand you. You have low back pain and it's really bothering you. And let me tell you some of the problems that are associated with that. And let me tell you that I have a solution.
Okay, how would you apply that to solar panels?
Okay, so this is what I was playing with yesterday. I think the specific audience that I would tend to go for would be network marketers who are afraid that they'll never find a company that allows them to make money and contribute to the environment.
That's a
Or
good one.
maybe I might not even put that one in until the third point of the mistakes that people make. I'd probably focus on, things like, one mistake would be choosing a company that doesn't have a good compensation plan. Another mistake might be choosing a company that doesn't train you how to market. And then the third one might be choosing a company that not paying attention to your own values and making sure that the company values resonate with yours. And that's where you come into, that's where you can start talking about, well, I actually do have a solution for this. This company is totally based on being good for the earth. But you start with the other issues that people have with network marketing. One of them might be choosing a company that always, choosing a company that has auto ship. Putting yourself into jeopardy because you're in a company where you have to put out $100 every month, even if you don't have income. That's one that sends a lot of people away from network marketing, and one that I think that people looking into Powur would go, wait, where's the auto ship? Oh my gosh, there's no
It's
auto
certainly on
ship.
my list.
How cool is that?
Inventory. We don't have to keep inventory either.
Right. Inventory, that's true. Well, most companies now don't.
Okay.
I remember back when, I don't remember which company it was, but I had a friend who was involved in a company. You go to her house, and she had a whole closet full of inventory.
Herbalife and Amway, you gotta have inventory.
Yeah, we're still?
Yes, Herbalife and Amway.
Right.
Oh yeah,
You
because
gotta, go ahead.
nobody wants to wait a week to change their soap, or get shampoo, or get.
Yeah. So that's just kind of my top of mind how I would apply these principles. But do you see how it's a more indirect and subtle way of marketing, where you're really talking about, if you're talking to network marketers, we've all been there. We've all been in a company where, oh my gosh, I like the product, but how many, bottles of aloe vera can I consume at once?
Yeah, right on.
And we've all been in network marketing companies where there was no marketing support. There was really no marketing training. You were just expected to go from being a happy consumer to being a business person with, nothing in between.
Yeah, to make a list of your 100 friends and start having hotel meetings.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. Yeah, I got involved in a company not so very long ago that I thought I really liked until they started really pressuring me to have home meetings. And I was like, no, that's not how I do things. I'm not interested. And it was like, well, this is the way that works. This is the way that works.
Yeah, there's a second problem. If there's only one way that works, it's probably not going to work for most people, so you want to run away from it.
Yeah, I ended up running away from it, even though I liked the products. So,
it happens.
Does that make sense? I mean, did you?
I think it's very good marketing basics. If people don't already understand the attraction model, and it's nice that you keep things short and simple, stacked up like that. So it all fits into what the answer is, but it's all parts of the puzzle first,
Lori just did
as opposed to starting with the complicated. You need to know everything about my business because it's perfect. You describe the pieces and then let them wrap it up at the end.
And the rest are here.
I'm sorry. I'll take some tea, Pete.
Yeah.
Yes, I'd like some tea too.
Yeah, hot tea.
All right. On that note, 1 hour, and I will call it an evening here so the people that want tea can enjoy it. I'll be available through the week, Wednesday through Friday, between 9 and 3 for anything that you need sorted out. I will be working on my own ad tomorrow. I want to get one out and running before the end of this contest for a few days, see what sort of response I can get now that we've got a decent target market and some information about it.
Just one little piece of question. You made reference to the types of ads that we can run and what we can say. Is that in our training, which I haven't finished, Lori?
No, I don't think they've covered it. They've got compliance information in the group. If you go into the Facebook group, there's a PDF about compliance, and that's the only information I've seen so far.
I'll go take a look at that then.
SolarPreneur on Facebook. Or sorry, Powurpreneur on Facebook.
It's also in the back office too.
On your replicated website?
Yeah, in the library.
Okay, there you go. So in the university there's a library section which has all the most recent. Check the dates, so you want to make sure you got stuff since New Year's, because everything's there back to the beginning of time.
Okay. Do you remember enough about it to summarize it?
No, I haven't looked at it. All of it, I found it and put it on the shelf. I wasn't ready to go and run an ad, so I didn't need it at the time.
There is a PDF on the files too. Compliance. It's under compliance. Power compliance.
Right.
Yes.
Okay, I'll go check it out.
They contradict themselves. There has a little table, what not to say and what do say. And it says, say that you are power independent contractor with power in association partner with Solar City. So there is a word that we're not supposed to say. So I said, I took a picture and I sent it to Vanessa, and I said, can I use this? And she goes, write a whole sentence with it and let me see if I can approve it. Because there is a slip of the word Solar City.
Ah,
Yeah. So, Lori, if you make an
wow.
ad, if you make me an ad that they can approve, I don't have the patience with them. I will run it.
Okay. I thought what I would do is I would put together a campaign. You know, it's not just going to be an ad. It would be, you know, the whole probably a web page, and do a Facebook ad that directs to that web page.
Mm-hmm.
And sort of run it as a, oh, someone brought you tea.
Ask and you shall receive.
all the way from British Columbia. I thought I would do that as proof of concept to see how it runs, how well it converts, and if it does well, then I'll share it. Does that make sense?
Yes, ma'am.
Perfect, Lori.
Yeah, because I don't want to. You know, it's relatively involved. Not so much the basics, but you know the actual wordsmithing, the word crafting is kind of involved, and I don't want to do it and pass it on to people if it's not converting well for me.
Yes.
So I will check out the compliance rules and see if I can come up with something that is within compliance. I think it should be relatively easy because I'm not actually going to be talking about Powur until the very end.
I think actually your marketing idea that you've just covered tonight solves a lot of the problems with compliance because you're not going to mention the name Powur until the last instant, probably. They're going to
Right,
have to click through to get that information. You're not going to be sharing that
right.
anywhere up front. You're not going to have it in the first line of your ad. Join my Powur team or anything like that.
No, not at all. Not at all. And I haven't decided whether to even put anything about you know, ecology or environment, or I think I will put something in the title having to do with consistent with your values.
That's good. I like
Oh,
it.
yes.
And
Yep.
then the value that I will talk about in the third point will be the value of wanting to be um, ethical and sustainable and, you know, friendly to the earth. And then that will self-select people. That will allow people at that point to self-select. But the ones who don't self-select at that point will have gotten some value.
Yep.
Yeah, and advertise in Bend, Oregon if they're there. Bend has sun all the time.
Right. I think the only place in Oregon is Portland.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
I know. I just downloaded that map today. See if I can find it again. Pull it up.
Yeah, I had someone there by Albany and they could not qualify. They were not in the zip code.
Yeah. So what they need to do then, if they are a business person, is they need to join and then go talk to their friends in Portland
Uh-huh.
and wait and position themselves so that when it does expand from Portland, then they'll be ready to hop on it.
Yeah,
Like,
and that would be much easier to sell if advocates were still available in non-open states and countries because most people don't want to spend $400 US on something where they can't see the immediate return or the chance for the
yeah,
immediate return.
That's what I was going to say earlier also about the situation of my brother and sister-in-law and their daughter. Yes, the daughter and her husband have solar panels installed by Solar City, and yes, when they were sent out to look at my brother's house, they did that as a what did you call it, Sarah?
Ambassador?
Yeah. So they got like $200, I think. But if they had joined Powur, they would still be $200 behind. They would not yet be in profit.
Yes, that's true.
So there's no benefit to them to joining Powur unless they do understand the concepts of profitability and the concepts of business. Unless they're interested in building a business. Unless they're building a business, there's no benefit to them.
Yeah, no, it was different when we started. An advocate was an option for people that just wanted to be placeholders or wait to see what happened,
Yeah.
or just had a few friends they wanted to talk to about it. But it's beyond our control. I'm actually crafting a letter to go into head office with that subject about it for the closed states and the unopened countries. I can see where they wouldn't want to have the advocate in an area where solar is available, but I think they're foolish not to offer it in countries or states that aren't open, because the whole point is to get the opportunity in front of as many people as fast as possible, and if there's no free seats, it's going to slow their growth down. They may have already seen that. I know it was one of the three important things that excited a lot of the people that I got involved in. The first thing was you could get your money back on your first sale in the beginning. The second thing was there was no time frame on getting your promotional bonuses, which it turns out they didn't enforce anyways, because I was paid after February 29th, so I would say the money's still on the table. They may not be able to unpay us because the compensation plan is so complicated.
Right.
So I would assume till I find somebody that hasn't been paid that we're all going to get paid our 75 and our 225s whenever somebody qualifies. I don't think they have the option to deselect, otherwise I'm sure I would have been.
Right.
Because I missed the window of opportunity by 2 whole months and still got paid. So there is some good news.
Yeah. So I'm looking at this map. Have you all seen the map of the regional map?
Yep.
So, yeah, I'm looking. Why are we not concentrating on New England as a team?
Don't know anybody there.
You don't have to know anybody there. We have Facebook. We have ads. We have demographics.
Why you like New England?
Why?
Oh, closer to Canada or what?
Oh, no. Solar City is in Maryland, Delaware, New Jersey, the eastern part of Pennsylvania, New York, eastern part of upstate New York, Kentucky, Massachusetts, New Hampshire.
Yeah, they're in 20 different places. I chose California because I knew people in California, and by natural selection, I found Sarah, which refocused me back into California because I had somebody locally there that could support the people. So I just focused there because partly Sarah's there, and it's close for me. If I'm going to travel to the States, I'm probably going to stay on the West Coast, not go all the way to the East Coast. It's just such a huge expense to...
But if there are people in New England who are A, business people, and B, homeowners, there's a big region there that they could be both selling and recruiting in.
Absolutely. The only place I've ever spent any time in the States on is specifically in California. It was just because when I sorted my LinkedIn, which allowed me to sort by state, I had 29 people already in California. It was the most people I had in the state. So it was just
so you already have a network.
And Jonathan is right here, 10 minutes away.
Right.
That was another part of the decision-making process, was the ability to put them in front of the fact that they're having meetings somewhere every week in California, and that's not true in other
Right.
places.
Right.
Actually,
Yeah.
till 30 days ago, there was nobody having Powur meetings on the East Coast. I understand that Bob Smith did 5 Eastern states in 10 days or something recently here, and he's starting to try and get company meetings. But that was the first company person out in the East Coast doing any hotel meetings or airport meetings, which was readily available in California 4 months ago, 5 months ago. They were already doing. They were been in San Diego 3 times now. They've been in LA twice. They're done a couple of smaller Encinitas ones. I wish they would give us more notice, because it's hard to get people organized to a meeting when you only have a week's notice that's out of town, because people, particularly, you need a week to sort out how you're going to get people there, and usually that's the time it takes them to figure out it's available. But I think as the system is perfected, they're going to get longer lead times in organizing these meetings. They might even get into some sort of routine situation where they have them once a month and in the same place, so that people can plan around these things.
So they're relying on live meetings, huh?
They're using live meetings as part of their format.
Right.
Certainly, they're having one somewhere once a week in California, from what I understand. More often if it's available. There's some people solely building their businesses through live meetings, but again, those are all people in active cities or towns with solar city crews on the street.
Right.
So it's much easier to say, that green truck down there, we work with them, than I got all this stuff going on. I got to explain it to you. Hope you're interested. Hope it's in your area. It's just got complicated. But I think we're at the end of this. I'm tired. Not going to accomplish anything else productive here, I don't think.
Well,
it's been a lot of information. Thanks for the contribution, Lori.
Yes, thank you.
So I think I am going to make a little stab at the East Coast via a Facebook ad.
Wonderful.
See
I
what?
would like to have some of the response and information.
Run it up a flagpole. See if anyone salutes it.
There you go. Yep. When everybody's zigging zag, head the other way.
Yep. Alrighty.
Well, good evening, everyone.
Yes.
Good to see everybody.
Yes.
Oh, you're still there, Agnes. I thought you were gone.
No, I had to turn off my camera because I had someone come in the room here that I had to deal with, so I just turned off my camera.
She's a little more organized than I am. My interruption surprised me. I never even got the camera turned off. Thanks for showing up, ladies. Thanks for the support, and we'll talk soon.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you. Good night.
Bye.